Everybody, this is Colin, and as you guys might see, there's a black screen, which is different, which is a little bit weird, but different. So I've been getting a lot of requests lately about questions if there's an affiliate podcast somewhere out there. And there are some, but none really related to CPA. None really focused on the opinion of things and the wondering what you could listen to, basically. It's not something which I would say needs to include video. So you can listen to this while you walk outside, you can listen to this while you're doing other things, you can listen to this while you're doing cardio at the gym. So basically what I want to do is I want to do one of these videos in a while to see if people like them, if people actually listen to them, learn something from them. But for me, obviously, it's easy. All I have to do is talk. I don't need to edit anything, which is also nice. But I think I can discuss various interesting topics. And today I would like to talk about the fact that some affiliates can launch 10 campaigns a day and other affiliates can only launch 1 campaign a day, which is obviously a significant difference. So I would say mainly it comes down to 2 things. 1, which is the hustle, and 2, which is skill. And obviously that skill needs to be developed. So when I was teaching my mastermind in April, I talked a lot about creating the systems. The systems will give you control and leave the vulnerability behind. So the systems will, in the end, give you a structure. It will remove the impatience, because all you have to do is take all the steps in the system from 1 to 10 and you've completed your part. So when I look at my own sweepstake game, according to the 3-day rule, what I would do is basically divide it maybe up in 3 major steps, which would be ads, landing page, and offer. However, each of these steps have little micro steps. So for the offer, you need to find the offer in a network. You have to choose which network. You have to choose which geo. You have to choose single opt-in, double opt-in, PIN, or credit card submit. You could choose a bunch of things. So if you lay out these steps, so for me it says pick offer, create ads. Those 2 steps. Why? Because I already know that the images always come from Google, I already know which networks I work with, and I already know which geos I want to run. If you're a complete beginner, you might want to write those things down. It is not because you're retarded, no. It's basically because we as humans, especially entrepreneurs, tend to forget a lot of things because we're juggling so many balls and some of them will fall. Only these balls are made from glass and everything will be destroyed. So that is not recommended, obviously. What you need, let me just sip some coffee. So what you basically want to do, you want to create a structure which you would be able to hand off. So I think when I started to creating like standard operation protocol, SOP, I think that's what it's called, I read the guide from Charles Noh's website. Or maybe it was a downloadable or something. It was very interesting. So basically he said, write the system, write the project as if you're going to hand it off to somebody who doesn't know what to do. And then when they read the operations protocol, they know what to do. And they can actually do it, which was so interesting because I always wrote it to be remembered from me. But obviously, well, probably 99% of the people who would read it, it wouldn't make any sense. So making that significant change to everything, changed a lot. And I would say for the better. You will get a complete overview of what is important, but also what you have to do, which is just interesting. I mean, I would never have realized that such small things matter because they're so crucial for your entire plan. And I always say, like, if you build a house and the foundation is on concrete, you'll have a nice house. If the foundation is on mud, it's very likely the house will collapse at some point. When you're putting the first pillars in, you can put it in mud. Like, it's not that easy and it's not that smart, but the pillars will go into the mud anyway. but they will not go straight, probably. Or as soon as they are straight, as soon as you put something on top of the pillars, they go to the left or they go to the right. If the foundation is concrete, you can control things because you control when the concrete hardens and then you set the foundation yourself. And that is the most important thing. You want to have control over things. So as soon as I tested my SOP, I gave it to one of my media buyers and I told him, use this system to run the ads from now on and do the entire gig. Every single day, I want you to send me an email. And in that email, you tell me what you learned, what were the mistakes you made, what was difficult and what was not difficult. Apparently, it is very difficult for somebody, because I've done this so many times, very difficult for somebody to follow through with this for 30 days. So you might imagine, how hard is it for 30 emails to send? Every single day is one. But none of the people sent me all the emails. There was always one or two missing from the best guys, and most people, they missed like almost all of them. They only send like 5. Because what happens, the first 3 days they send them and then they forget, and then you enter a negative cycle, which is what we see a lot in entrepreneurs. As soon as they reach a point of negativity, let's say I always get up at 5, I wake up once at 6, then it's more likely that I will go up at 6 the next day. If I don't break the pattern immediately, a new pattern forms. Because it's weakness, and weakness is easier than going through the discipline route, which takes more effort. But I was talking about systems and not about weakness. So the systems will in the end give you less stress, which is wonderful. It will give you clarity, and it will systemize a specific part of your business which can be automated. Automated not in the meaning, well, maybe artificial intelligence, but not in the meaning of a system that runs on its own, but you can put an employee there. And as soon as the employee does the specific task, I don't usually say employee, I always say team member, I never say employee, but somebody that you've hired to do a specific job, it frees up your time to do other stuff. And I would say that is the point you should go through. What you will notice, first you're learning, right? First you're learning. I would say until a steady 10K a month, so 10K for like 3 months in a row, then you've done the initial foundation of knowledge. That will take anywhere from 2 months to 2 years for most affiliates, especially with CPA. Now, most of you guys are obviously watching and consuming my content on a daily basis, which will make it a lot easier. However, it's still not as easy as you might want it to be. And you cannot rush this, because what will happen is, first you need to get that foundation of knowledge to hit that 10K a month. That is only an indication that you have the foundation of knowledge. But as soon as you do, you can move on. So what are you going to do? Are you going to build an agency full of media buyers and create $1 billion agency? Or are you going to go the single affiliate route, take maybe 30 to 50K profit a month and not have that much stress from hiring employees, like a completely different business model, right? Or are you going to use it as a cash cow to fund a different business model? All of this you can do, but not without a system. The system removes the time consumption part. And that is how I can launch up to 20 campaigns a day, because my system from scratch campaign to launch takes 25 minutes max. In that sense, I can do maybe, how many can I do? Two per hour at least, well, 2.5. Let's say I work 10 hours, I already got like 20 to 25 campaigns. Probably not going to blast that long. So let's say 15 to 20 campaigns in one day, which is easy if you have a system. And then you see people struggling like 3 to 4 hours on one campaign because they don't know what they're doing yet. They don't know what they're doing yet. It will come, but you need to allow yourself to learn that foundation of knowledge. Because if I give my system to a CPA agency, it doesn't work. because the owner is teaching the media buyers usually on what they have to do, or the senior management or the directors. Somebody is going to teach these new guys how to run campaigns, and every person has their own preference. I've done many videos about there's no best offer, there's no best network, there's no best bidding strategy, there's no best scaling strategy. It is whatever works for you. In the end, you have to test. And that's why all these systems look different. But I love to look at other people's systems to see what they do different, because sometimes you can learn something from it, and sometimes you can have a laugh, because it might be something that you don't use, right? That's not necessarily a bad thing. It is just interesting, because at the end of the day, all these agencies make it work. At the end, they're all profitable. But the question is, who is the most profitable, right? And that's what I like. So basically the systems game, I would say, is essential if you want to go beyond that 10K. Keep in mind, if you do sweepstakes on 10K a month, your profit is around 3K, which for normal people's salary in this world, if you're from Europe, it's like that's with tax, right? So the tax has to be deducted. You leave with a normal average salary. So if you do 10K a month in your business revenue, you might end up with 3K profit, cut the tax, 2.2K net, which you get on salary, which is not bad. It's not bad at all. But if you're from India or Bangladesh, it's going to be fucking good money, and it's going to change your life, which I would say do that. If you have the potential and the state of an entrepreneur, which means pioneering the route yourself, creating a system, and then hand it off. Build. What I noticed lately in my business is that I'm doing shit, and I shouldn't be doing shit. I should be thinking and structuring everything. The more I do, the less the business grows. And I'm not saying I'm lazy, no. I spend at least 10 to 14 hours a day these days on work every single day. But the thing is, I need to see the path, because I have the vision. I just need to get the path back to where we have to go. And if I'm creating ads, if I'm uploading images, that's going to take too much time. And as soon as I've done 10 hours of uploading, I'm tired. I don't want to think anymore about how I'm going to increase the ROI from 32% to 34%, because it's only 2% that day. But 2% over the year is a fucking lot of money, which is the long-term thinking is important. And the systems, as I said, they create a foundation of stability. They create the opportunity to pursue other things because you can hand it off to employees. Because I said two things in the beginning. I said systems and I said something else, but I forgot already what it was. But yeah, I completely changed the systems because it is something I never realized how important it is or how important it could be until you implement it. And as long as you can say like, oh, I make campaigns in 15 minutes. Are those profitable campaigns? Are those not profitable? You could maybe do it in 10 minutes if you're that fast, if you would have a system. I would say the system is always beneficial unless you already got a system that works, right? But for the sweepstakes, like if I run sweepstakes, I would make a different system for pin submit, because the flow is very different and the mindset is very different. If you want to maximize ROI, implement those systems. So, as I said, make a step from 1 to 20 or maybe 1 to 50 or 1 to 100, what you're doing. So just go to www.google.com. No, you should just say collect Google images. Do this, do that. And then run it by somebody who doesn't do CPA marketing. And ask them, does this make sense to you? Where do you struggle? Where do you not see what you have to do? How would this work? Because usually a media buyer, you give maybe 2 days of full training, right? So they are familiar with the words, they are familiar with everything. However, if somebody who has no training understands what's going on, then the other person should generally also know what's going on. And that's the main part. Like, they need to understand people are stupid, people are retarded. Even the people you're going to train, they are retarded when you're going to get them. You've been hammering at this maybe for like a year, 10 years, 15 years, who knows. So you've consumed so much knowledge over time. But these people are fresh. Doesn't mean they're not able to learn. Doesn't mean they cannot follow your system. It only means you have to guide them thoroughly. Just don't tell them like, 2 days of training and you're going to launch your first campaign. No, it's all step by step by step. As soon as they master the system, you will see that your growth will be exponential. And in the end, growth, business, systems, it all relates down to one thing, which is what a business is meant to do: profit. So I hope you like these kind of podcast style, me talking, you listening videos. I'm planning to do a couple of more, maybe like 4 to 5 more, to see if people actually like these videos, if they like to listen to me. If you did, please let me know down in the comments below so I can measure the feedback and maybe push out some more content like this. Thank you guys for listening to me, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.